The athletes you are about to see on Phenomenal Elite Wrestling are highly trained professionals who have spent years mastering their craft. Every maneuver, stunt, and performance is executed under strict supervision and with safety precautions in place. We urge all viewers, especially younger audiences, to never attempt to replicate or perform any of the moves seen on this program at home, school, or anywhere else. Stay safe, enjoy the show, and remember, leave the wrestling to the pros.
Your commentary team for the day, introducing first Mr. Dave Bradshaw! And with him, Mr. Daniel Winton!
Alright, we go this way, one high five. Everybody, here we go. Woo! Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, as we are aware, we do have a special
testing, one, two, Jimmy?
Yep. And I'm here as well. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Introducing our special guest host.
Who's that? Did he call our name?
What a way to start things out this afternoon at the Ettington Community Centre, P.E.W Bangerz. I'm pleased to say the Prestige is out of here. He's gone off in a strop, and we have a special guest host this afternoon in the one and only Chocolate Thunder. Dave Bradshaw here alongside Dan Layton, and Dan, welcome back. How have you been?
I've been well, thank you very much. I've been off studying, trying to make that professorship even stronger, and I'm thrilled to be back with everyone in Ettington today.
Well, I'm not sure they're thrilled to have you, but they're certainly thrilled to have Chocolate Thunder back here in P.E.W. With the Prestige gone, this man in charge, anything could happen this afternoon at Bangerz.
How are we, Stratford? Thank you for being you, actually. I appreciate last time I was here, I that was not very nice. But I've had a bit of personal things going on in my life, and I've realised life's too short to be nasty, life's too short to be cruel. Be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. But I digress. You're wondering why I'm here, why I'm guest hosting this show. And I'm sorry to say this is some really bad news, but I'm afraid to say that Lawrence Prestige has unfortunately come down with a severe case of midlife crisis.
Hope it's not contagious.
Serious, ladies and gentlemen,
No, don't worry about it. Once you've had it once, you can never get it again. You had yours
He
back.
tells me that him and his companion, Kiara, the princess, have gone on a romantic getaway to the French Riviera.
Goodness!
Now, he sent me some pictures, God only knows why, but it looks suspiciously like the French Riviera has turned into Skegness. I'm not sure how to categorise their relationship, but they've said they need some time away from P.E.W to recover from the treatments they've had from the P.E.W fans. Now, that left the P.E.W directors with a little bit of a dilemma because there's no one to run the company, there's no one to run tonight's show. So they got on the phone to yours truly and said, Chuck, would you be able to run the show tonight seeing as Lawrence has got a severe case of midlife crisis?
It's no laughing matter.
And I was just so happy to accept because, you know, I was here for the very first P.E.W show. You've all accepted, you've all like welcomed me with open arms. You've been so good to me, even after I've been like horrible. And you know, it's the least I can do for just being how I was last time I was here. So thank you for that warm welcome, and I hope I can do you guys justice and bring a bit of fairness back to P.E.W. Because even though I've been away, I've been keeping up to date with all the results, and it seems to me like the Prestige has taken things for granted and abused his power, and that's not going to happen anymore. So with that in mind, tonight, I've got a couple of stipulations for some of the matches. Now, it seems our friends, Red for Better, seem to want to make their own rules for these shows and their matches. So here's what's going to happen tonight. And I hope you're listening, Riley Nova and Freya. You see, Riley Nova, I know you like to coach each other throughout your matches, and I say coach, and I use that term loosely. Here's the deal tonight. Riley, you can't have Freya ringside for your match. She's banned from ringside. Oh, and Freya, I'm not leaving you out of this. You can't have Riley at ringside for your match. So Riley is banned from ringside. And let it be known to anyone else in the back. If you try and even so much as think about breaking the rules, I will be down here, breathing down your neck and telling you who the boss is tonight, because you will not cross me. This is going to be fair, this is going to be clean, and you're all going to love tonight's show, aren't you? But we are missing one thing, ladies and gentlemen, aren't we? I think we all know what we're missing tonight. Who are we missing, ladies and gentlemen? You're a smart crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to P.E.W. your referee, Danny Marks!
Danny Marks reinstated as a result of Jason Joshua defeating the Prestige last month. Marks had been fired, if you remember, by the Prestige, but that's all over now. Marks back where he belongs in P.E.W. Getting a reaction that Dan Layton could only dream of.
Yeah, I've heard this sound in my dreams, Dave. Happy as I am for it to be Danny Marks' opportunity.
You've heard people chanting Danny in your dreams?
Well, yeah, it's my name, Dave.
You go Danny, you go by Dan.
I actually used to get called Danny when I was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't really. There were 3 Dans in my years.
But now you're a professor.
It was the most... Well, this is it. Now I've got some more respect. I've lost the suffix. Just Dan, thank you. It's a very popular name in 1989.
Danny, last time we were in the ring, I punched you in the face. So this is a bit awkward, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to make it less awkward. Danny, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. And
well,
on behalf of everyone here at P.E.W, it's good to see you back in the ring, mate.
You don't punch someone then and shake hands and apologise for it. What's happened to John Thunder?
No, I'm not going to keep you. Thank you. Better seeing you. Fantastic. Hey, I'm back. I'm not many words.
That's not true.
I'm not many words, but I just want to say thank you to all of you. I've seen your messages, I saw your signs, your messages in my DMs, all your stuff online, and it was fantastic. And without you guys, I won't be here today. Now please don't tell me I'm rubbish next time somebody you don't like wins, right? Please. Right, I'm going to hand you back to Zach. Cheers, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Danny Marks' first match back? Ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest is a singles match. It is scheduled for 1-4. Introducing first.
Oh, here we go.
By the way, Chocolate Thunder, great improvement over the previous guy. Already.
Incredibly rude of you to say.
I mean, the bar was low.
Well, as mentioned, the Prestige recovering somewhat, nursing a bruised ego among many other things down in the French Riviera.
And that bruised ego in large part is due to this man, Jason Joshua, defeating the Prestige in a St. Patrick's Day street fight at Seeing Green just over a month ago. Feels like a new beginning in so many ways here. We feel a little bit liberated with the Prestige nursing his wounds, having a strop in the French Riviera or Skegness, depending on who you believe.
The French Riviera must be nice.
Meanwhile, Jason Joshua, having been tormented by the Prestige for so long, can now hopefully get his attention back where it belongs, and that's on regaining the P.E.W Championship.
It's definitely been a run of bad luck for Jason Joshua.
In bad luck?
Well, you know, you can't have them all. He's not had as much success as he would have liked, I'm sure, since losing that belt.
He was targeted.
That's an opportunity.
He was singled out by the Prestige. It's not luck.
Well, you know, you step your foot in it, and this is what happens. You know, now he's got an opportunity to claw his way back. But you have to earn it, and it starts today.
Introducing his opponent.
Oh no, please don't. It's not Warren, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for
The P.E.W fans certainly are making some noise for Franco Fate. Might not be the noise he's after though, a chorus of boos welcoming Franco Fate back to P.E.W. It's been a long time since we've seen him, and immediately we're being reminded why we didn't miss him. Look at him ripping up that sign from that fan.
It's very possible that he's being reminded why he's taken such an extended break from P.E.W. A lack of respect from the people here in Ettington.
There's been plenty of reasons throughout the history of P.E.W. why Franco Fate has not been due much respect from the P.E.W. fans. But what a match to come back to this is. Straight back in at the deep end here against one of P.E.W.'s absolute favourites, one of the best there is in Jason Joshua.
Marginal bit of taste here. Nice to see in the crowd.
Just trying to flog his merchandise, isn't he? Franco Fate. Got to say though, whatever we might think of him as an individual, as a personality, looking in as good a shape as we've ever seen him.
Absolutely.
Jason Joshua is going to have to be at his best here to put away Franco Fate, who's had a good deal of success during his previous run here in P.E.W.
Physically imposing, but also seems to be in a fighting state of mind. Jason Joshua's been a bit casual on the outside. Might want to get his own head in the game.
Yeah, Joshua looking pretty relaxed, but then you can understand why, given that he does have that weight off his shoulders of the prestige and all that, the pressure that he was under as a result of that feud. If you're going to have a rivalry, a feud with the owner of the company, there's always going to be added pressure there, obviously.
But once that pressure is lifted, like you said, the weight off his shoulders, if he wants to claw his way back to the top of the mountain, he's got to get his head in the game. He can't just be so lackadaisical about it.
Is it lackadaisical or is it confident? We'll find out. There's no ring bell tonight, so Danny Marks improvising. That's why he's one of the best in the industry.
Absolutely. Big match, not only in terms of stakes, but also for the alliteration fans. Jason Joshua, Franco Fate. Something I noted down there.
Really?
Yeah. I'm on the lookout for these things. I'm doing a master's degree.
Yes. Is it a master's degree in English?
You could say English. I definitely deal with language.
If you're already a professor, why are you doing a master's degree?
Well, first of all, you never stop learning, Dave. You would know that if you were a man of integrity and honor.
Wow. My heart breaks. Meanwhile, look at these two just circling each other here. Jason Joshua and Franco Fate going to lock up again. Joshua needs to be careful here because of the power, the strength of Franco Fate. Trying to match him for strength isn't necessarily the way to go, but Joshua no slouch in that department himself.
No, he's got a lot of pace as Jason Joshua, but also a certain amount of strength in and of himself, talking backstage about his new regime.
Yeah, we saw him warming up, training very hard, even just up to the final moments before he came through the curtain here. He's very much taking seriously this what he hopes will be a return to form and a return up the rankings here in P.E.W. Despite the fact that you think, what did you say, he's being complacent?
Well, I mean, if you come out to this ring and you see your opponent coming down and you sit in the crowd, kick your feet up, and look what happens. You know, you need to keep your head in the game.
Well, look, he was never going to have it all his own way against a competitor as good as Franco Fate. Joshua, though, going to try and weather the storm here. We've seen Joshua face seemingly insurmountable odds, not least against the Prestige, and find a way to overcome them. Still figuring out this puzzle, though, of Franco Fate here at Bangerz this afternoon.
He's talked many times about his mental integrity, his mental strength, as well as his physical strength. Trying to find a way through. Might need to draw on that in these early stages.
Side headlock going to be released by sending Franco Fate to the ropes. Joshua goes low, now leapfrog. Follows him to the ropes and a shoulder block. Takes down Fate.
What I'm talking about as well as agility.
Uppercut, headbutt to the abdomen from Joshua. Gets the knee right into the face, going to scoop him up and drop him on his front. Jason Joshua cooking with gas now as he runs on that senton splash. Joshua might be looking to end it already. Franco Fate in a bad spot, in position maybe for the curb stomp, but Fate, realizing where he was, realizing the danger he was in, rolled to the outside.
Smart move, ring awareness there from Franco Fate.
Yeah, he didn't have enough awareness to keep his eye on Jason Joshua, though. Fans in the front row, and more than they bargained for as Joshua coming through the ropes, diving to take out Franco Fate. It is still Joshua, Big Daddy Unicorn, on top of this as they brawl outside the ring. Oh wait, Fate's been held in position.
Hang on 1 second. I know he has a good relationship with these people, but surely...
What are you going to do? You can't disqualify the fans, can you?
No, but you can disqualify Jason Joshua if you're trying to turn this into, what is it? You know, several 100-on-1?
Oh, please.
Not to mention the thousands at home.
Excuse me while I search for my tiny violin for Franco Fate. Hundreds against one. What's wrong with you? Oh, my. Sent face first there. Well, that might even the odds somewhat as Joshua sent face first into that steel ring post. Fate is putting the boot in here.
Joshua's going to use the people on the outside. Fate might as well use the ring itself to his advantage. Bouncing Joshua's face off that steel post. And now taking a little bit of a victory lap while the rest starts to count.
Joshua, one of only two men to be a two-time P.E.W world champion. The other is the man who beat him for the title, the current champion, Jack Selstrom. Selstrom going to defend that title in a last man standing match later tonight against Smashing Mike. The culmination of another long-running feud here in P.E.W as Franco Fate's going to pick up Joshua. Gets him with a suplex, perfectly executed, and you can see that knocked the wind out of Joshua. Going for the cover, gets that side press, didn't hook the legs, and Joshua kicks out. And such is the power, the force behind every one of these moves. Every bit of offense from Franco Fate just knocks the stuffing out of you every time he nails one of those strikes, one of those slams. You can see as time goes on here, Joshua getting more and more worn down by Fate.
Absolutely, and I mean we see suplexes every other day here in the wrestling industry. It's the bread and butter of a wrestler. But when you are someone of the stature of Franco Fate, you deliver it with such power, such competence.
Elbow into the jaw. Fate tries a second time. This time gets a boot to the face for his troubles. Joshua will go to the ropes, goes to the clothesline. It's ducked by Fate. And Fate with the elbow. Great quick thinking at high speed from Franco Fate. Is it enough to get him the win? It's within a second of doing just that.
Using Joshua's speed to his advantage. Basically running right into that elbow there. Nearly took his noggin clean off.
It's a word you don't hear very often anymore.
It's one of my favorites.
Fate trying to just wear down Jason. Joshua trying to even maybe to try and cut off that oxygen supply to the brain, trying to make him pass out. Joshua knows he can't stay down there for long. He looks to his feet, using that free hand to try and release himself. Fate changing tack, gets that hammer log, and then he's going to go for a clothesline instead. It's a vicious elbow to the midsection. Joshua sent from one corner to another and then brought down hard with a backbreaker. Jason Joshua coming off with the high of defeating the Prestige last month, maybe coming crashing down to earth here this afternoon against Franco Fate.
This is what I was talking about. Maybe you celebrate a bit too much, maybe you start resting on your laurels and you think, oh well, I've done that now. The wind is in my sails, and all it takes is someone like Franco Fate to just stop you right in your tracks.
What's he doing here? He's trying to drop the throat of Joshua over that middle rope. That's illegal. Referee is going to demand a break before the count of 5. So naturally, Fate doesn't break it till 4.
He has the 5 count. He might as well use it. Nice to oblige. And then once again, using the ropes to his advantage.
I don't know what the attempt at the strut was there. I don't know if that was necessary. Here comes the cover. Took so long strutting that Joshua kicks out.
It just shows the confidence Franco Fate has. He really knows this match is fully in his control at the moment.
Does it show he's not the sharpest tool in the drawer?
Oh, hang on 1 second. Let's hold back there a little bit. I mean, would I have advised him to keep on the attack? Absolutely. But in this moment, he knows very much that he's the one in control. So he might as well glad hand a little bit. Joshua's certainly been doing it with these people, so why not him? And look, right back on the attack.
Fate slamming Joshua's head down, the back of that head bouncing off the canvas. Referee Danny Marks goes down for a 1 count there. Fate with a right hand. Joshua, shot of his own, needs to go and strike for strike. Middle of the ring, our opener here this afternoon at Bangerz. Fate backing Joshua into the corner. Again, repeat the point I made earlier, that you're going to get into a battle of strength. If you're going to get into a battle of who can hit hardest, Franco Fate might get the upper hand there. I'm not sure that's smart from Joshua. Joshua, though, that was smart. Gets the knee up into the jaw.
Absolutely. This is what happens when... Oh! You wait a bit too long. I think Fate glad-handed just a little bit too much, allowed Joshua enough breathing room, and now that's senton from the second rope, giving Joshua a moment to get back into this.
Joshua can see he's got Franco Fate down in that corner. The cannonball from Joshua. Joshua going to hoist him up onto their shoulders. Great strength from Joshua to be able to just throw a man up like that, as he did. But Fate again using that middle rope as something of a weapon there. Joshua once more sent throat first into it. There's an Uranagi takedown from Fate.
Rolling Joshua back to his feet, bounce off the ropes. Oh God, lariat!
What a lariat that is! That could do it. That could do it for Franco Fate, who hooks the leg and gets as close as either man has got to winning the match.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joshua was seeing stars tonight as a result of that. And you'll notice, Dave, a lot of the offense coming out of Franco Fate is focused on that sort of chest, neck, head area, whether it's bouncing Joshua off the ropes, that lariat, those forearms. If you can knock your opponent for a loop, it makes putting them away that much easier.
Fate looking to finish the job. Joshua wriggling off the shoulder. Into it! Crucifix. Slam the shoulders down hard. If Joshua had been able to keep those arms locked there, keep the shoulders down, it could have been the end of the match, but Joshua with other plans. Again, bringing all of his body weight down into the face there of Franco Fate.
Now going for it.
Going to get him up a second time. It's countered by Fate. Fate so strong, so difficult to maneuver, but Joshua able to counter on the counter. And Joshua got him in position for a spinning tombstone pile driver. Franco Fate dumped on his head.
That is a big man to come crashing down.
Joshua's going to go for the stomp, and he's going to nail it. Franco Fate stomped to the curb by Jason Joshua, who has picked up a win in this post-prestige world in which he finds himself.
An absolute barnstorming victory from Joshua, proving that he does have the resilience if he can just let go of this sort of weird relationship he's got, needing the approval of the fans. If he just boils down, he has the strength, the charisma.
That's your advice.
Look, he has everything he needs to get to the top of this mountain.
If he can just stop being a decent human being, he might succeed. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you said.
Focus is what this man needs, because focus is what's leading to his hand being raised.
Yeah, well, heaven forbid he should do anything that the fans might like. Quite revealing of your own philosophy on life.
You got to put yourself first.
Well, Jason Joshua able to put himself first after, as we said, that weight lifted off his shoulders last month when he defeated the Prestige. He's defeated Franco Fate here again tonight. And the question now for Big Daddy Unicorn is what's next? Because again, the sky seems to be the limit once more for Jason Joshua in phenomenal elite wrestling.
very excited when I came in, so I forgot to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach Legos, and I'm your ring announcer today. And of course, we have Danny Marsh, but this is the reason for my excitement. Danny, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, should we have our first title match of the day? Yeah! Your first title match is a triple threat match scheduled for... And it is for the P.E.W Internet Championship.
Very shortly, the contestants for this Internet Championship match, I'm sure, will start to make their way to the ring.
At this point, surely.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the man in a big cloak running around the ring, high-fiving people. What do you think? They're just like signaling for a taxi. The Invisible Man making his way into the ring right now, ready for his competition for the Internet Championship. You don't need a master's degree to be able to see the man in the ring, Dave.
What man in the ring?
That
man!
Yeah.
Introducing first, the Invisible Man!
Of course, the Invisible Man hasn't been seen for several months while recovering from a brutal attack.
Yeah, who was responsible for that? Riley Nova, that's who. The man has been responsible for quite a few atrocities in the past few months here in P.E.W, ever since he's been associating himself with the likes of Freya and Joseph Connors, and of course our world champion Jack Selstrom.
Danny Mark trying to get his hands on the invisibility cloak.
1/3 of the Deathly Hallows, of course.
Of course.
He's watching me. Oh God, who now?
Tyler Adams is popular as ever. He's coming off a defeat at Seeing Green against Jackie T. Adams with something of a mixed record, I should say, since he's been back here in P.E.W. He returned last November.
And an explosive return as well. Not been able to capitalise on that.
Yeah, he's proven to be just as obnoxious when he came back as he was beforehand. But can you imagine how insufferable this man would be if he walked out of Ettington tonight as the Internet Champion?
He certainly has the opportunity to do that. It is obviously a triple threat match. Champion does not have an advantage here.
Introducing the P.E.W Internet Champion.
At 40, this past week, passing the 100-day mark as Internet Champion, won it in the first week of the year. Back at full circle. We were talking a few minutes ago about that group of Jack Selstrom and Bredford Better and Freya. I think in their ascension, maybe we've forgotten a little bit about the cause, this group that 40 is a part of, headed by H. Hood, who's been absent for a while, but Hood is back tonight, the leader of that group. So I think the cause are going to be looking to reassert their own dominance here in P.E.W this evening.
I mean, absolutely, 2024 was a fantastic year for the cause, and 2025 for 40 was his moment to sort of step up, step into the spotlight, gain that championship. What a way to kick the year off, and has held it ever since. Don't count the cause out. I mean, I've been saying for months, it works. We are seeing proven results of H.U.D.'s cause right here as 40 holds that belt.
40 coming out here in the cause's camouflage gear, maybe hoping to match the invisibility of the Invisible Man, but to no avail. We can see him clearly.
Of course we can, the rain is gone.
That's what it's all about, Internet Championship. And Dan, you mentioned it a moment ago, but there is no champion's advantage under these kind of circumstances, because the first man to get a pinfall or submission, either over any one of their two opponents, will be the winner here. No DQs, no count-outs.
Absolutely, and if it's me, I'm getting the champion out of the ring as quick as possible. Try and take him out of action.
Very hard to know if the Invisible Man's in the ring or out of it.
It literally isn't. Oh look, there he is!
Clothesline from the Invisible Man as he comes back into view. Double drop kicks.
Gotta say the Invisible Man is doing exactly what I think one should do in a triple threat match, which is striking while he's hot, getting going straight off the bat.
Invisible Man to the ropes here. 40, I think, headbutted the turnbuckle. Oh! Crossbody from the Invisible Man. Adams is nowhere to be seen. He'd scarper to the outside to try and get a bit of a time out there, and it could have cost him because he wasn't in the ring for the cover.
Yes, that's exactly right. I mean, it's a smart strategy, you might argue, to be outside of the ring and let your opponents take each other out. But the downside is, it only takes 3 seconds, and if you're not in the ring to break up that count...
Now Fang on 40. 40 landing hard on his ankle. Invisible Man was headed that way, and Tyler Adams chose that moment to get back into the ring. 40 seems to be all right. Whether that was a sincere injury to the ankle, I'm not sure.
I don't know whether or not.
Maybe it's has superhuman recovery powers. Hip thrust from Adams into the face of the Invisible Man.
Something about a champion's grit, being able to push through injuries.
Adams delivering that move a second time. Now, God knows what he's saying there, getting in the face of the Invisible Man. Adams going to be launched this time by 40. And to no avail, Invisible Man out of the way. A clothesline from 40 though, quickly preventing any kind of momentum that the Invisible Man might have been able to get from that. Adams taking exception to the fact that 40 went for the cover.
I mean, whatever alliance was being built, or may still be being built here between these two.
And what were they expecting?
This is it. It's a fragile one at best.
Yeah, how can you have anything other than a temporary alliance? Only one of you can score the pin. It's a vicious kick from 40. Adams to the ropes. Kick to the side of the head, snapping that neck sideways. Adams again trying for the cover, and 40 this time saying no. I think they're going to have to agree to disagree on who's going to get the pin and just focus on wearing down the Invisible Man for now. If you can take him out, it can be essentially a one-on-one match between Adams and 40. The Invisible Man, though, gets the boot up into the face of Adams. Uppercut to 40. Essentially a 2-on-1 handicap match at the moment.
If you can't get on the same page, which fortunately it seems like they're managing to get back on right now.
Oh! Invisible Man sent hard there into the corner, back of his head, bashing into that middle turnbuckle.
Bit of whiplash going on there as well for the Invisible Man. Tyler Adams using every ounce of his strength, and now 40 doing the same.
Adams with 40's back turn, but he heard the referee's hand hitting the mat and realized Adams was trying to steal one again.
That was smart from Adams.
He is an opportunist, no doubt about that, Tyler Adams.
Opportunism is fantastic in a match like this.
Again though, just double teaming here on the Invisible Man. Damage to that left arm. 40 stretching the right arm back, just forcing those shoulder blades together. Oh my God, that could break your arm. Invisible Man just screaming in pain. That looked horrendous.
Yeah, and I thought I could hear something crack there.
Adams and 40 going to send Invisible Man down. No, they're not. Somehow still had enough left in the tank to get the double clothesline.
That was instinctive from the Invisible Man. It might have done some extra damage to that arm, which was not supposed to bend the way it did.
All three men down, but they're all already stirring here. I think they're going to comfortably beat the count. Yes, they are. Adams trying to charge the Invisible Man, who got the elbow up. Couldn't block 40 though with a clothesline. Drop kick from Adams. Yeah, so much for that alliance. Adams gonna hook the arms here. Got that double underhook. Dropping him with a face buster. Stunner from the Invisible Man. 40. Dropping the Invisible Man on his front. And 40 will fold him up, looking to retain the internet title. Adams prevents it from happening. 40, the 8th man to hold that internet title. The first, by the way, was the leader of the cause, H. Hood, as we said. We're going to see in action a little bit later on against another Adams, Edgar Adams.
Now this alliance is well and truly off the cliff now, Dave. Adams and 40 pushing each other. And they need to be careful to not allow any animosity to distract them from the third man in the ring.
Adams was able to duck the clothesline, but 40 just too tall to get out of the way. Now Adams, and this is smart from Adams because he's taken the champion out of the ring. If he could somehow get the pinfall here or the submission, while 40's neutralized, he'll be the new internet champion. Same's true though for the Invisible Man if he could do it to Adams. Clothesline. Trying to feed off the energy of the fans here in Ettington is the Invisible Man.
Yeah, and he can't waste too much time. He needs to keep on the offense because every second that the champion is out of the ring is a second he could take advantage.
That driver there, dropping Adams on the back of his neck.
Okay.
Now Invisible Man has disappeared.
This is what I'm talking about, this level of glad handing. You could be the internet champion right now if you just...
Oh, there he is! What a big splash from literally nowhere! 2 count. Invisible Man just messing with the space-time continuum there to get a 2 count.
Oh, yes, messing with your head. What are you doing?
Oh, that's going to mess with the Invisible Man's head. Is it enough to bring Adams' championship goal? Invisible Man gets that shoulder up. There's an example. Champion wasn't even in the ring, and we were less than half a second away from him losing that title without even being part of the decision.
And Dave, Adams has been throwing everything at this. I'm thinking of that fire that he threw the Invisible Man into the corner, the height he's got on some drop kicks.
You see that double underhook there again a second time. There's a second stunner from the Invisible Man. Here comes 40. 40 low blow, no disqualification in a triple threat match inside cradle, and 40 by nefarious means holds on to the internet title.
Dave, is it nefarious if it's within the confines of the rules, which that was in a triple threat match? He slid into the ring, saw an opportunity and took it. That's why we're hearing those words. Still your internet champion. 40.
Well, get someone to do to you what 40 just did, and we'll see if you are still in favour of it as a tactic.
I simply would not find myself in that position.
Well, there's rules, and then there's basic human decency. And 40, unfortunately, doesn't have regard for either, but he does have regard for championship gold. And that hunger, by any means necessary, to hold on to the internet title has seen him win again here at Bangerz.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match is a tag team match. It is scheduled for introducing first.
Rose, the women's champion here in P.E.W, title that she beat Harley Hudson for back at Full Circle on the 4th of January. So Just like 40, she's just passed the 100-day mark as well.
Doing Holly Hudson, no mean feat.
Yeah, but there was an asterisk next to how she did it, let's face it. As there is with all of the exploits of this group that she's a part of, with Selstrom, our world champion, and Bred for Better.
Yes, that asterisk being current champion, that's what it is, I see.
Are you on their payroll?
I'm trying. Freelance life is hard.
Don't give her the microphone, Zach, for goodness sake.
The champion, I think she earned it.
So, I've heard that apparently Riley Nova's not allowed out with me.
Yeah, absolutely not.
What's that all about?
That's a question I'm asking myself. It's what happens when lawlessness takes over.
Whatever. I don't know who made that decision, but it's fine. It's fine. Because I've got a new partner anyway. Yeah. And this person is black belt in karate and black belt in judo.
This rules you out.
And she's black belt in jiu-jitsu.
There are many things that ruled me out, Dave.
And origami, yeah. Actually,
I do have a black belt at home, though.
well, not really.
Doesn't really go with many of my
Just
clothes.
second, if you want to take my people, I've got more. Can you all shut up? So shut up! Shut up!
She's fighting a losing battle here, unfortunately. No respect. This is what I'm saying.
Listen to what I have to say.
I'm so sorry, Freya. I'm so sorry.
Well, anyway, here's my partner, Killer Keller.
Nobody? Just me?
Yeah, we're in the absence of Riley Nova, who, as we said, is banned from ringside, courtesy of our guest host tonight, Chocolate Thunder. Freya Rose has had to find a tag team partner. She's found one, and a very well qualified one.
Yeah, very much. She has made it.
P.E.W's first gold medal wrestlers.
You're going to go out hunting for a new partner. You want someone of the caliber of Keller.
Gold medals, black belts, very dangerous woman is Killer Keller. Freya Rose is still just jaw-jacking with the fans here. Real bee in her bonnet tonight. Maybe she should launch an official complaint. We've had a women's champion in the past who's done that.
Well, I mean, how would you feel if you showed up for work and found out that someone who is literally not the boss has just decided to run the shop and banned your friend from ringside? I'd be cross too.
He is the boss tonight.
I'd like to see the paperwork.
Introducing Lucy Kutchko.
Just 6 days from now, Friday the 25th of April, at P.E.W's first ever mixed tag tournament challenge, Lucy Couture going to team with Jackie T. And that pairing could be among the tournament favourites.
Honestly, the women's division here in P.E.W has always been one of its crowning jewels.
And introducing her tag team partner.
Yeah, Couture needs her partner to get out here quickly, because I'm sure Killer Keller and Freya Rose wouldn't hesitate to launch a 2-on-1 attack given a chance.
I don't like the look in Keller's eyes. I'd run for the hills if it were me.
Lila Kyle can be a great compliment, I think, to the in-ring style of Lucy Couture. And without Riley Nova out here, that crutch that our women's champion Freya Rose has depended on so many times.
No way to speak of a former world champion crutch.
That's exactly the role he's played for Freya Rose. He's been given the assist in many of those victories that we've seen from Freya Rose. And barred from ringside, just by the way, as Freya Rose is barred later on when Riley Nova goes one-on-one with the winner of this year's Golden Ticket Rumble, Oscar Prospero. That's all coming up later.
The main event I have my eyes fixed firmly on. Not in a dissimilar way to Keller's eyes are fixed firmly on this duo.
It's going to be, I think, Killer Keller is going to start things out against Lucy Couture. In fact, I think Couture's they're going to have a game of rock, paper, scissors. That's the fairest way to decide it.
It is when you can decide exactly how you want to play rock, paper, scissors. Neither of them could agree on the rules there. It's 1, 2, 3, shoot, I would say. Like this, see, there you go. That is tag team right there. That is tag team synergy from Keller.
Are you seriously analysing how the two teams are playing rock, paper, scissors?
It all comes together. If you can't get a simple game of rock, paper, scissors together, how are you going to take out the women's champion, Dave, and her hand-picked partner?
I'm not sure if Killer Keller and Freya Rose are going to get the same response. They're getting a response from you.
Yeah, because I have what's called, Dave, respect.
Clapping like a sea lion.
Sea lions are among my favourite animals.
Thank you for that little nugget of Dan fact.
Yeah, there's a new one each day. I've got a new partnership on the way with Penguin.
Is that one of those day-by-day calendars?
Yes, exactly that.
Oh, wow. How are the sales going? I'd imagine the merchandise that Lucy Couture and Lila Kyle have on sale is doing better than whatever you're trying to sell.
I sold a lot of books once when I worked at Waterstones. Oh,
Lucy Do! Couture and Kyle able to get their opponents into the corner, then forcing them to collide with each other. It's not the start to the match that Freya Rose and Killer Keller had hoped for.
I mean, how often do you talk about illegality here? This double team is absolutely unnecessary. Couture needs to find who's the legal woman here.
Referee Danny Mark's going to give as much leniency as he can, but there is a limit, of course, and that's why he's asking Lucy Couture to get out of the ring.
And now the bell rings. There you go. There you go. That's why they were able to get away with it. The bell hadn't even rung yet. Danny Mark struggling to take control of this. I suppose he is rusty in his own way.
That's quite offensive. He's only been away a couple of months.
Look, you know,
a few months.
When the bar's already low.
Couture with the elbow to Killer Keller. Jumping leg drop, getting on top for a 1 count. Quite the leg drop as well, so for Killer Keller to get out on a count of 1, I think is another sign of just what a dangerous opponent she is.
Tenacity from Keller.
I know, as we said, that Lucy Couture, among several of the top women in the P.E.W roster who are going to be a part of that mixed tag tournament challenge, Friday 25th of April at the Dorothea Mitchell Hall. First time we've been there, excited to go there this coming Friday.
It's a fantastic opportunity for all of the roster to showcase themselves.
Sure.
They'll show some tag team offense just like that.
Yeah, body slamming her own partner onto Killer Keller. Innovative stuff. Kyle. Oh, ball of energy. Freya Rose. Even without Riley Nova, perfectly capable of breaking the rules on her own. What a throw that was.
The ring shook there, Dave.
And a martial arts expert showing her competency when it comes to those throws. Keller forcing Kyle into the corner, the place he absolutely doesn't want to be, the opposition corner, as the women's champion Freya Rose tags in. Rose gonna try and wear down Kyle across that middle rope. Again, that's illegal. Referee insisting on the break.
And the break came.
Such an apologist for these guys.
Apologist, or do I understand the finer nuances of the game, Dave? I'm trying to give a little bit of insight to the people at home.
Well, for a guy whose most insightful analysis today has been about rock, paper, scissors, I think you're tooting your own horn quite a lot here.
Someone should.
Jawbreaker. Kyle into the corner again. He went face first hard into that turnbuckle. There's some real venom behind that throw from Freya Rose, as there are from these kicks from Killer Keller. Tag from the women's champion. I don't think Killer Keller knew that tag was coming. Rose obviously decided that she is the captain of this team.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You're the champion, and I think there's something there about taking your tag team partner's strengths to your advantage. You know, she's good at the throws there, and then the champion good with her fists, and now the double team.
Kicks that one though from Killer Keller, and yeah, I suppose Freya Rose's main strength is to stealing the glory when it's time to win the match, which is what she thought she was going to do there. Yeah, now wanting to tag in again because her opponent is down and vulnerable.
Fairly vicious tag there from Freya, but I suppose Killer Keller can take it.
There's more, I think, a tag coming from frustration at the fact that Killer Keller's not just obeying her every instruction.
Lucy Couture trying to G up the crowd here.
Great agility from Freya Rose. Now Keller is tagged back in. There's been frequent tags between these two. They've had Kyle backed into their corner for a while. Look at those body shots from Killer Keller. And it's pulling at the hair. And protesting her innocence there, Killer Keller, which is quite the audacious thing to do, considering that cheating was happening right in front of the referee's eyes.
If you're the referee and you're pointing out that you've done some cheating when you've quite clearly let go, yeah, but Danny Marks needs to step his game up.
Well, that's the argument. Oh, I may have been cheating a second ago, but I'm not now, so it's all fine.
Do you have 5 seconds or not? That's been my question this whole time.
Is it legal to pull the hair or not?
Well, within 5 seconds.
No, well, it's not.
Take every advantage you can.
Keller looking to push home her advantage by trying to cut off that blood supply, that front face lock. Kyle is down to a knee here. This is it. See, trying to use that leg strength just step by step to get ever closer to Lucy Couture as she can. Ooh, a headbutt.
Knocking herself loopy, and now Freya Rose pulling Lucy Couture off the apron. Nobody left for Lila to tag.
Yeah, it was, well, whether we like it or not, pretty effective from Freya Rose, because it did look like Kyle was going to make it over to the corner, but as a result of that behaviour from Rose, Couture not ready to receive the tag, and instead, Kyle nearly falling victim to a pin attempt there from Killer Keller. Keller, these strikes just raining them down on the lower back here of Lila Kyle.
Crowd desperately trying to get behind Lila Kyle. See if they can encourage her to find an opening, but how are you going to find an opening when Killer Keller is just using fists of fury against you in their own corner?
Yeah, the speed of those fists, like bullets coming out of a machine gun there, those fists into the ribs. There's a takedown which might buy Kyle the opportunity she needs. Able to take down the women's champion, both women in the ring, both the legal members of each team flat on their backs here. Both could desperately do with a tag. In particular, though, you've got to say, Kyle is in most need of a tag. She's been in there a very long time now.
It's a far, far away from her own corner. She's going to need to use all of her strength to get there.
Get in there. Freya Rose has got there to Killer Keller, and the tag comes to Lucy Couture,
who comes out of the gate swinging.
Clotheslines here from Lucy Couture, who's been wanting to get in there for several minutes now. Just frustration building up in Couture. It's all coming out now. Now she's able to legally take the fight to both of her opponents. Freya Rose gets an elbow. So does Killer Keller. Lucy Couture with boundless stamina here. Rose sent into her own tag team partner in the corner.
She's had a long time to watch, long time to try and figure out these two.
Shots to the midsection though from Rose and Keller. Couture ducks a clothesline attempt, going to force her opponents into each other.
Now sizing up her opponents, trying to figure out which is the best course of action first.
Couture trying to scoop up Keller. It's a body slam. Gonna jump on top here. Freya Rose just quickly running to her partner's aid. And just dropping her hard on her face. I think Keller is legal here, and Freya Rose realizes it, just drags her own partner back to the corner so she can again have a tag that once again Keller didn't know much about. Freya Rose and Keller not getting on particularly well, you've got to say.
There's a bit of dissension here. The champ needs to keep her eye in the game. Lila Kyle, in the meantime, has made a tag, and the champ doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, Keller, Freya Rose, neither of them realizing that Kyle is lying in wait here. Oh, it's a roll up. The roll up from Kyle. She got her. Lila Kyle just pinned the women's champion.
And look at this, Keller immediately getting off the apron. Could have broken that pin up, didn't want to. Probably tired of being spoken to like that.
Man, you are stirring the pot, aren't you, between Freya Rose and Keller. Well, I think that ship may have sailed if it's, when it comes to the relationship between those two. Freya Rose, who finds it pretty difficult to get on with almost anyone outside of that faction that she's a part of. Women's champion pinned here, as we said, in a tag team match. And again, we are just days away, 6 days away, from P.E.W's inaugural Mixed Tag Tournament Challenge. Friday, April 25th in the evening. We will see you there at the Dorothea Mitchell Hall. Could one of these women be on the team that wins it all next Friday?
Takes some strong momentum after getting a pinfall victory over the women's champion.
I have no idea what's about to happen. So, please help welcome
What's going on?
the flawless one, Alexander Vane, and Straight Sauce John Day, together, Flawless Sauce.
Oh, wait.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, that makes several of us that don't really know what's going to happen here. We know that Flawless Sauce have requested some ring time here. They made their debut last month at Rude Awakening. They challenged the tag team champions, Adam Bolt and Oscar Prospero, who were able to defeat Flawless Sauce. What is that? There's a framed picture in the ring. Yeah.
None of them look particularly well rested. Very good spirit.
Those photos, what I can see, they look like they're pictures of those two at various global landmarks together.
Makes sense. These two do look like people who have holidayed recently.
They look like, I don't want to be a cynic, they look like slightly dubious Photoshop jobs.
How can you possibly tell them by this? I'm sure they would never do that.
Some of us have excellent eyesight. So Alexander Vane and John Day, Flawless Sauce. Why are they here?
Well, it doesn't really matter. I'd like to know where Alexander Vane got his shirt. Hopefully it's to tell us that. Fantastic outfit.
It's a fashion show or a wrestling show? I don't care what they're
Sometimes
wearing.
It can be both. Maybe if you do start caring a little bit what they were wearing, you get yourself a new tie.
My name is Straight Sauce John Day. And when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut, especially now.
Shut your ugly mouth!
Is he a supply teacher? That's what they used to say.
They did.
Try that again.
And it usually got just the same reception, I would say. How can you possibly say boring? You haven't spoken yet.
Poor. My dad makes more money than all of you.
So what?
Well, in this economy, that actually is quite important.
Okay. Since the last time you guys have been and seen us, the flawless one, Alex Day, straight sauce John Day, the team flawless sauce, on our show, flawless sauce live, FSL, baby!
What is this?
Flawless Sauce Live.
Since the last time you guys saw us, we've been on a little holiday.
Oh, there you go. No wonder.
See the last time we were a P.E.W re-challenge.
We didn't pay for that holiday using the winner's purse, I can tell you that much.
Well, you don't need to because his dad makes more money.
Who we are. None of your business. The last time we were here, we challenged the P.E.W Tag Team Championships, and since then, we've been on a bonding experience around the world.
I see, Dave. A bonding experience.
We shared the croissant on top of the Eiffel Tower. We told big men what time it was. We showed the Statue of Liberty, the two best-looking men in professional wrestling, and we got banned from the Taj Mahal for reasons we're not actually discussed. The point that we're making is that since our last match, we have bonded and we are a stronger tag team because of it, and we want a rematch for the P.E.W Tag Team Championships.
Sorry, they're feeling.
Right now,
What?
our first ever guests on this show, please bring out the P.E.W Tag Team Champions.
Oh. What a coup for them to get the tag team champions on their show.
They think they deserve a rematch for the titles because they've been on holiday.
No, well, they deserve a rematch because they went and found themselves. They did the mental resilience.
No, hang on.
I'm trying to explain to you,
No,
David.
but I'm more interested in
I would like to tell you exactly why they deserve an opportunity. While we wait for the tag team champions to come out, I'll tell you, they've been abroad, they've done some soul searching, they've worked on themselves. I think that should be commended. How should it be commended? With a championship match. This makes perfect sense to me. And good for them. Oh, here we go! Adam Bolt is here, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
I didn't even know he was in the building. Look at it. Look at those moves from Adam Bolt. Oh, I love this music, Dave. Adam Bolt.
Apparently hasn't seen his hairstylist this week, has he? What is it? What is this supposed to be? Like, obviously not the tag team champions.
Cut out music. Thank you very much. Ladies. I said cut out music, good sir.
Not your music.
Jesus, those are awful. Ladies.
Oh, and Oscar Prospero is here as well.
My name is Boris. I mean Oscar Prospero. And this right here, this is my tag team partner. This is Adam Bolt. Adam, have you heard him to say?
No, it's not.
Bolt. Fair enough.
Sounds about right.
Let's start with around here. Adam, am I not the golden ticket holder in P.E.W? Are we not the P.E.W Tag Team Champions?
No, you're definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Adam Bolt and Oscar Prospero
Are we
are the
sometimes best
champions.
friends, but sometimes not, and sometimes we are, and sometimes we can't?
Yeah.
And I was the best dance singer in P.E.W. This mustache is going.
That's where they've got that wrong. I'm actually the best singer in P.E.W. But
Music man, play my song so I can sing these good people a song.
oh, what a treat for us, Dave, eh?
Wait, here comes one half of the real P.E.W Tag Team Champion, the real Oscar Prospero.
Someone like Oscar Prospero should appreciate when a performance is happening. You don't insert yourself into that performance. We were seeing some of the finest acting Stratford has ever seen. Not that that's a high standard they have to meet or anything.
Is the extent of John Day's Adam Bolt costume is he's got a ball of wool and dumped it on his head.
Suspend your disbelief now and again. Come on. This is what the arts is, Dave.
See, they spent their whole budget on the holiday.
Well, this is Ettington! And in Ettington, we're going to start with stuff like this, do we?
Not like a cat being thrown around the place. Huh? The flawless one? Honestly, it seems you're going to be flawed if you carry on this way.
Don't give him the microphone back.
Look. The last time we faced you guys, the last time we faced you and your little moustache, and we faced Adam Bolt and his awful blonde hair, we were not the tag team we are today. Because look at his sexiness, look at my elegance, and look at you.
I mean, it is a lovely jacket, but other than that, what is there to look at?
How about this? How about Flawless Source versus Prospero and Bolt Part 2?
Oh!
Why? They haven't earned the right to a rematch.
Adam Bolt has taught me a lot of things. He's taught me to believe in myself. He's taught me that these people help you believe and help you do whatever you dream of. Okay? But Adam's not here, and I can't talk for him. But these get out of it. These people know Adam better than anyone. So will you be Adam for me today? Yeah! Hey Adam! Do you think that we should take these two on for the tag team championship?
Oh, that's not a good idea.
So you're here. Do you think that we should knock these two out and keep our tag team championships?
Okay.
Generous.
Well, I'm not one to say no to a friend, so Adam, yeah, we'll take you on.
At least I thought he meant tonight. It's going to be next time when Adam Bolt's here.
Yeah, that would have even through Oscar Prospero.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Prospero getting assaulted here behind.
Adam Bolt's taught him a lot, but apparently not to watch his back.
Flawless Source doing a number here. One of the tag team champions, the winner of the Golden Ticket Rumble as well, of course. Oscar Prospero, he's got a lot going for him at the moment in P.E.W, but he want to find himself 2-on-1. Now he's not, because he's got rid of Vane. Speaking of Vane, John Day getting a beating as well. Oh my God, a low blow.
Once again with the glad handing. Oscar, not when you're outnumbered, my friend, and you've got a match tonight that you need to keep your eyes on.
Maybe you could spend a little less time criticising Oscar Prospero, maybe criticising the guys who are the aggressors here.
The ones trying to make a statement for themselves, the ones trying to earn themselves a tag team championship match, which it sounds like they have now got, Dave.
Their strategy to get one was just to annoy everyone until they're granted a rematch.
Hey, you can't argue with success, and look, that is what success looks like. Flawless Source.
And one of those two tag team championships currently in the hands of Flawless Source, who apparently are going to get their rematch. It's a very generous decision, I think, by Oscar Prospero.
Rising champion, it's a worthy decision.
I would have sent these two back on holiday.
It was not a holiday, it was a spiritual retreat. Not unlike the one Prestige is on, and I'm sure when the word gets to him in the French Riviera that Flawless Source have earned themselves a tag team title, he will book that match at the earliest available opportunity.
Flawless Source live, FSL. I don't think it's going to get commissioned by any TV channels anytime soon.
I'd watch it.
Alexander Vane and John Day, apparently the P.E.W tag titles in their sights. Next time Adam Bolt is here to team with Oscar Prospero.
Whenever you watch this back, don't you dare think that's the end. Don't you dare.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your next match? Your next match is a singles match, and it is scheduled for
Lance Rivera, a former P.E.W World Champion, in fact, as he'll tell you, multiple times, given the opportunity, the longest reigning P.E.W World Champion in history, some 419 days since he lost that title, been trying to get back in contention to regain it. Again, another one of those guys where it's a case of by any means necessary. We've seen him fake injury, cheat in a number of different ways, Lance Rivera. But then again, he's never exactly been a man of integrity, has he?
I tell you what, he is a man of championship caliber. Why wouldn't he brag about holding that belt for that long? This is not just a gimmick, this is his life.
Trying to intimidate the referee. Yeah, you're just going to ignore that and continue on your little monologue there, right?
I'll tell you about Lance Rivera.
His opponent.
Both Joey Scott and Lance Rivera were part of that four-way elimination match at Sea and Green a few weeks ago for the 2025 I Am Phenomenal Trophy. And Rivera using more of his cheating tactics to take out Joey Scott from that match. In the end, Rivera didn't win it either, smashing Mike the winner. But Scott with revenge on his mind. It's been a rough couple of months for Joey Scott. Back in February at Brave New World, losing that lumberjack match to 40 where Scott's own family turned against him.
Yeah, that's got to be brutal, Dave.
Joey Scott been in the game a long time and he's not going to take any nonsense, I'm sure. Any of the shenanigans that no doubt Lance Rivera, the so-called Playboy Prince, is going to try here against Scott. Someone's found a belt.
I know, and I appreciate that. It's resourceful.
Well, I guess Lance Rivera is a man who you might also describe as resourceful in the worst of possible ways.
Well, a successful resourceful, an effective resourceful. Both of these men are fantastic competitors, but what gives one the edge over the other? That's the question that any time the belt does in fact ring, we have to ask ourselves. And in the case of Lance Rivera, it's being able to use his opponent's insecurities, weaknesses, any aspects of this game to his advantage. Look, it's happening right here, trying to get in the head of Joey Scott.
Rivera was victorious 2-1 in a series of 3 matches against Harrison Bennett over the past few months. Again, by questionable means, both of the 2 that he won in that series. Joey Scott going to be backed into the corner here by Rivera. He's got a handful of Scott's ears, I think. Scott's like, well, if you're allowed to do it, I'm allowed to do it too.
Look, turnabout's fair play, and like I said, he's got a 5 count. He might as well use it. I love seeing that from Joey Scott.
Rivera has decided he doesn't like that taste of his own medicine. He's scarpered to the outside here, and he's getting an earful from the P.E.W fans. That's what he deserves.
Rev needs to get Joey Scott back into his corner so that he can allow Lance Rivera to get back in the ring, and we can continue this match in a respectful manner.
Yeah, suddenly you're a real stickler for the rules, aren't you? Rivera trying to get back in the ring, but realizing that Scott's going to be straight on top of him, or maybe he shouldn't have fled the ring in the first place. Rivera sacrificing the high ground here to Joey Scott.
Joey Scott really cared. He'd go out to the ring and bring Lance back in himself. I don't see that happening to you.
Well, why give up the advantageous position you're in if you're Joey Scott? Rivera's going to have to get back in eventually, because otherwise referee's going to count to 10 here. What is he doing? He's decided to
back into the ring. Do you want him to get back in the ring or not? He's taking advantage of the seating
furniture
around him. Yeah, exactly.
Just thinks it's a sense of entitlement that I don't get with Lance Rivera. That's one of the most annoying things. Just thinking he can just steal someone's seat to help him have a step up to get back into the ring. There you go. He's got a bit of help back into the ring there from Joey Scott. I don't think he liked it though. Rivera trying to escape the grasp there. Gets behind with a rear waist lock. Great counter from Scott. Dropping down into an arm drag. Second arm drag there. Trying for a third. Rivera will stop that one from happening. Well, no, he won't. Scott goes round the back, gets the arm drag in the end.
Scott waited patiently for Lance Rivera to get back in the ring, and now he's using all the tools in his arsenal.
Rivera trying for the hip toss. Yeah, Scott who's able to get it. Things not going the way of the, again, self-proclaimed, your girlfriend's favourite wrestler, Lance Rivera.
Beautiful move from Joey Scott. And once again, Lance Rivera rolling to the outside. The ring awareness saw himself get catapulted to the corner. Needs a second to breathe. Might as well take it.
Scott gonna go after Rivera there. Rivera just sidestepping. Scott leaping up onto the apron. Trying to kick Rivera, but Rivera's gonna sweep the leg away. And Scott landing hard on his back on the ring apron.
The hardest part of the ring, Dave.
You're a historian of P.E.W. You'll know a couple of years ago, these two were considered allies. It feels like a long time ago now as Rivera sending Scott spine first set into the ring post. Rivera, has a very high opinion of himself. Rolling Scott back into the ring.
Rivera riding high after a great week of inspirational stuff that he's seen throughout the sporting world, trying to take some of that energy.
You're talking about the fact he's a Man United fan, that's what you're discussing.
Certainly am, fan of one of the finest teams in the history of sports.
Yeah, absolute textbook win for them this week, wasn't it?
Well, it was grit, determination, it was tenacity, it was tactical, new.
It was chaos. It was chaos.
And a little bit of chaos sprinkled in. Isn't that the magic you like to see? And he's going to bring some of that chaos to the ring. That's why he held that championship for the longest time. That's why Joey Scott is currently on the ropes and Lance Rivera stands tall.
In the case of Rivera, one of the reasons he was champion for a long time is, like he's been doing ever since, he will do anything to break the rules if it gives him an advantage. Nothing wrong with that though, perfectly within the rules, that suplex, and it was well executed from Rivera. He's going to drape himself on top of the torso there of Scott for a 2 count, but a little lackadaisical on the cover there from Rivera.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one there, Dave. He just needs to find a way to head it home. Maybe go for a better cover.
Right hands here from Joey Scott. Rivera on the ropes. Reversal of the Irish whip though, and a drop kick sends Scott down.
It's another picture-perfect move from
Look at the pose.
Rivera.
Look at the pose afterwards. There's not a single redeeming quality for Lance Rivera, other than perhaps the fact that, annoyingly, he is an extremely talented professional wrestler.
Oh, he's fantastic, Dave. He's fantastic, and that's what allows him the arrogance to take covers like that. To pose after hitting a picture-perfect drop.
He doesn't need to cheat. He doesn't need to cheat. He's good enough not to cheat, so why does he always do it? That wasn't a rhetorical question. You can answer it.
Sorry, sometimes I can never tell with you. You'll see tactical choices.
Rivera.
I would answer you, but in the meantime, he's showing once again just the wrestler he is with a high back body drop.
You would give me an answer, but you don't have one is the problem. There's Rivera with another suplex. Gonna hook both legs this time, much tighter pin that time from Rivera, and got him closer to the 3 count as a result.
Sometimes it's a willingness to really go to the far reaches of the rule book in professional wrestling. That's what separates challengers from champions.
Rivera should hire you as his spin doctor.
Did you want an answer or not?
Or was that an answer to that question? The question I asked about 10 minutes ago.
I don't know what you're talking
Wow.
about.
It took a while. Rivera now going to stretch out Joey Scott, and forcing those arms backwards into an unnatural position. Rivera just torturing Joey Scott here, that knee buried in the gap between the shoulder blades.
Here's Scott yelling in agony, trying to summon what strength he can to get out of that. Turn it around somehow, but Rivera says no thank you with a kick to the midsection.
Going to look for another one of those suplexes, I think, Rivera. This time, yeah, Joey Scott knew it was coming. Here's a Russian leg sweep from Scott. Scott holding on. Going to try and turn it into a cover. He's got the shoulders of Rivera down. On his feet there was Joey Scott. But Rivera firing back with an elbow, quickly regaining the upper hand. Condone that, go on. Condone that sort of behaviour. It's the trash talking, the kicking away, the disrespect to a veteran like Joey Scott.
Respect is a two-way street, and I haven't seen Scott show much respect to Rivera. But in the meantime, when you have an opportunity to get in your opponent's head, to throw them off their game, if your opponent is someone of the caliber of Joey Scott, you might as well try. Throw them off their game. Get in their head. Show them that disrespect. Trash talk. Do any little trick you can to gain the upper hand. And right now, Joey Scott is outside the ring. The ref is on a count of 5. Lance Rivera looks like he's going to take the win here.
Yeah, to a count of 7 before Scott got back in.
And right on the attack there, Lance Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera was just lying in wait in case Scott beat the count. Scott was well aware, or rather Rivera was well aware that as soon as Scott got back in there, he was going to have to get straight back on offense, but Scott outsmarted him there. Joey Scott going to slingshot Lance Rivera into the corner.
Speaking to the fact that these two know each other as well as they do, Dave, as you were mentioning earlier on.
Scott with the fists here into the skull of Lance Rivera multiple times. Rivera will shove him away. Scott will land on his feet. Great agility from Joey Scott, who stays on top with a pair of clotheslines here. Rivera tried to come back with one of his own. Can't get it. Instead, butterfly suplex. Textbook delivery on the suplex from Joey Scott.
Joey Scott needing to dig down deep. Take advantage of this momentum that he started to build. Looks to be climbing to the top rope. Going high risk.
Yeah, Scott, top turnbuckle. Rivera in all kinds of trouble here. I think he was trying to claim he had a back injury there, Rivera. Certainly wasn't the case. Looking for the lady killer. Couldn't get it. Danny Marks, I heard, just shaking his head, refusing to stand for the nonsense of Lance Rivera, who again was claiming an injury.
Well, if there's a chance that one of your wrestlers is injured, it behooves you as a referee, to take care of them. Danny Marks shaking his head at the idea of an injury.
Problem is that Lance Rivera is the boy who cried wolf, isn't he, in that regard? Rivera trying to go back after Scott. Rivera rolling back.
Roll up.
Hands on the trunks here. Hands are on the trunks. How many times are you going to cheat here, Rivera? And Scott gets the shoulders down. Nothing wrong with that pin on the part of Scott.
Ooh!
Trying to use the referee as a human shield.
Danny Marks needs to get right out of the way.
Oh, lady killer. The lady killer.
That's it.
The hook of the leg, and Lance Rivera again uses diversionary tactics, smoke and mirrors, to get a victory here in P.E.W.
Classic Dave Bradshaw to try and spin something like Danny Marks getting in the way into somehow Lance Rivera is responsible for that.
He pulled him in the way.
He was in the way.
Pulled him into the way.
Ring in a while. Danny Marks hasn't figured out how to stay out of the way. He's a bit rusty. We said it before. And unfortunately, in that case, it cost Joey Scott. If he was a good referee, he would have given him an opportunity. But Lance Rivera is the one taking advantage of the moment. That hard lady killer. And #1 stands tall.
Yeah, Rivera with a smirk on his face, pleased with his day's work. He's always pleased with himself, isn't he, Lance Rivera? Saw him try and feign injury. Saw him get a handful of trunks and eventually pulling the referee in the way. Another one of his classic tactics. And he has a full repertoire of dirty tricks up his sleeve, does Lance Rivera. And as so often we've seen, another one of those helping him out.
As he continues his march back to the top of the mountain. Longest reigning P.E.W champ. One day he's going to hold that belt again, I feel certain of it.
God, I hope not. I think we all hope not, except you maybe. Lance Rivera victorious here. Again, put an asterisk by it, but it is a win for the Playboy Prince here at Bangerz. Speed Demon, Edgar Adams, who's had his problems with the cause over these past few months. Going to face a real demon here, the leader of that group, making his return to P.E.W this evening at Bangerz.
Real opportunity here for Edgar Adams to put all of that to rest, start what could be an ascent for himself, if he can make it past this man.
Introducing his opponent.
Did you miss me? He asks. And who was
foolish question, I agree. Foolish question, of course we did.
A man who's brainwashed several young wrestlers to join his cause. We know what the cause is. It's to advance the career of H. Hood, nothing more.
See, that was a good line for you back in the day, Dave. But the reality of the situation is currently members of the cause are making waves throughout P.E.W. 40, the current internet champion, doing H. Hood proud.
It is true that a member of the cause, as you say, 40, has got championship gold here in P.E.W, but I think that annoys H. Hood because the only man who Hood believes should have all of the gold here in P.E.W is himself.
Well, he's back to prove that point tonight. I mentioned it was a big if Edgar Adams could make it past H. Hood.
I assume that was a glare, was it you, not me?
And that glare was there was gratitude in that one looking at me. So one looking at you, realise you were about to spout your nonsense about H. Hood once again. Meanwhile, the bell has rung.
Hood and Edgar Adams. Interesting that there are no other members of the cause out here at the moment. We know, of course, that 40 is in the building after a successful retention of the internet title earlier on, and that's that rhymes, that sign, as well as being factually accurate. I love it.
H. Hood is
no good.
No good. Right. Let's see what they've done there. Inventive.
Hood at the best of times, pretty humorless. I'm sure he wouldn't have seen the funny side of that crowd sign. These two circling each other. Well, Hood is already, after a long time away here from P.E.W, already getting back in the faces of the fans. You think absence would make the heart grow fonder, but maybe not.
Not here. Ettington has their favourites. H. Hood has never been among them, but H. Hood has never needed to be among them to make his point known.
Hood is just a bully inside that wrestling ring. Adams refusing to be bullied, which is the exact approach you need against someone like Hood. The referee wants Hood to get back in the ring here. You're here to wrestle, you're here to just put your body through the ropes here.
The real test is going to be whether or not Edgar Adams can not let that get to him. In the past, he's struggled to take full advantage of his incredible speed, his agility, his prowess in the ring, and get the job done. He's got all the makings of a fantastic superstar, fantastic wrestler here in P.E.W. Just can't seem to get the job done.
All right then. Saying that, he's had victory over Tyler Adams at Full Circle back in January, if you remember. A couple of tag team matches since then for Edgar Adams as well, but I don't think Edgar Adams will be among those. All right. That was going to say, I don't think Edgar Adams is going to be among those who is pleased to see H Hood back. Not the very many of those people anyway.
But if you were, that's been put to bed. What did you do? What did you say to him?
Anyone who'll try and bully, he'll just try and do it. You look at him sideways, he'll do the same to you, I promise.
He's never had a problem with me. I'm a people person.
I'm not sure he knows you exist. If he did, he'd try and steal your lunch money, I can promise you that. Hood just trying to escape to the bottom rope here. A few times now that Hood has gone to the bottom rope or through the ropes to save himself.
Smart strategy, trying to cause a break in the action, a break in the flow, not allow Edgar Adams to build up that speed that he's known for.
And certainly breaking any sense of rhythm that Adams could attempt to establish, but I'm not sure whether that's strategy or just cowardice on the part of Hood. Maybe he knows he can't out-wrestle Adams, or maybe not. Look at that, there's a very impressive headlock takedown.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw a lot of things at H Hood's feet, but in the ring, between the ropes, he's fantastic. He knows what he's doing.
And again, though, it's the aggression on the part of H Hood that is real strength. He will just put so much venom, so much bile behind everything he does. Look at that, the shoulder block. Just giving the sense that he's trying to just knock his opponent into next week, just for daring to even enter the ring with him.
Looking to have a little bit of showboating there, but Edgar Adams said absolutely not. And now we're in the position that Edgar Adams likes the best.
Hood, undoubtedly in incredible shape. We said that about Franco Fate earlier. The same is true of Hood, who's been away for a while and has come back looking better than ever. He rolls to the outside here.
Edgar Adams got to be careful not to let this really get to him. You can see he's not taking his eyes off H Hood.
But this isn't the kind of match that Edgar Adams wants to wrestle, and I think it goes to your point, Dan, about Hood trying to just cut off the rhythm here. If he can keep this methodical pace, then it's all to the advantage of H Hood. This isn't what he wants, though, because Adams trying to come off the top rope where he's very comfortable. Hood slowing it down by sending Adams ribs first into the edge of the ring and then sending him after that into the ring post.
And that's exactly it. H Hood is something of a ring genius. He knows his strengths. He knows the strengths of his opponent, and crucially, he knows how to undercut them. He knows how to use those to his advantage, to take those away, to take away what is good about Edgar Adams, and use that to gain the upper hand, which he has right now.
That's the thing with Hood is sometimes you see him being very technically adept, but also, when it comes down to it, just a street fighter, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. All fists. Forearms.
Uppercut right into the jaw of Adams. He will get on top of him for the cover. He'll get a 2 count. Again, you see that constant chip on the shoulder from Hood, looking exasperated, annoyed that Adams dared to kick out. Hood, the first ever internet champion here in P.E.W. Desperately wants to get back into championship contention. I'm sure he is one of those who's got his eyes on the P.E.W World title. That title on the line immediately after this match tonight, by the way. Last man standing tonight between Jack Selstrom and Smashing Mike.
Huge match that's going to be.
Hood being a menace here to Edgar Adams. Adams just turning blue here. Windpipe, I think, was just cut off there as Hood just forcing him throat first into that middle rope.
Pulling the rope back on himself, driving his elbow into the back of his neck, really cutting off all of his airwaves.
Just a meanness, a nastiness to everything H Hood does in that ring.
Edgar Adams really needs to find a way back into it, because at the moment he looks well in over his head. H Hood, man, driving all the air out of him, going for the cover.
What a senton. He got all of that and then almost got him the 3 count. Close to there for H Hood. You say Adams needs to get back into this, but there's been very little of this match where you would say that Adams has been in this.
I mean, your words, not mine, Dave. Said it to his face. But yes, exactly.
Come here, Edgar.
But again, that's exactly how H Hood likes it. He likes to dominate matches from the very beginning. Doesn't give his opponents any space, any kind of opening to get back into this. Just likes to be on top of them from the get-go. Here he comes again. Oh, man, what a strike that was in the corner.
Adams is just reeling here.
Adams, he can't even stand up. Edgar Adams can't even stand up.
Thankful in the corner to hold himself up.
Hood's going to come at him again. Edgar Adams might not have long left in this match unless he can find an answer to this problem very, very soon. Hold on, it's over the top here. Adams, has he got enough left to get any kind of offense in? No.
That's it.
The big boot, that might be it. Hood with a cover and a kick out from Adams, but
trying to build up a little bit of momentum there, and he couldn't quite get the breath to do it, couldn't quite get the momentum to do it.
It might just be delaying the inevitable here.
Yeah, I mean, all due respect to Edgar Adams trying to stay in this fight. Sometimes you've got to know when you're beaten.
Hood with a strike, you heard the thud, the impact there between the shoulders. He's going to go for the hood hammer. And he does it. Well, we'll call it, because Adams escaped at the clothesline. I could call this all day. Clotheslines here from Edgar Adams.
Needs to find his composure, really take advantage of this break in the flow of the match.
Adams finding a lease of life here. Look at the speed of the speed demon. What a takedown from Adams. Where has this come from?
That's that speed. He just needs to be able to find a way to build it up, and H.O.D. has been cutting it off. But now, the tide might be shifting.
Dropkick gets Hood into the corner. Edgar Adams finding a route into this somehow. Got lifted up onto the apron, landed on his feet though. Adams, everything he's touched him turned into gold in the past minute or so.
H.O.D. down to the mat, finding his way back to his feet, but meanwhile...
Here comes Adams. Great hang time on the crossbody for Edgar Adams. Gets him a 2.5.
A long stretch of this match where I was counting Edgar Adams out. Seems to be finding his feet, or rather finding the air.
And that in itself is impressive, to have weathered the storm for so long here, Edgar Adams, and to still have this in him. That is a sign of real talent, I think. Good, trying to somehow make sure that that storm can revisit Adams. Elbows to the back of the head.
This is it. Look, I mean, Edgar Adams' talent has never been in question. What is in question is whether or not he has tenacity, maybe so. Oh, a hard kick to the side of H.O.D.'s head.
Okay, how crucial was that Adams escaped the powerbomb? That allowed him to get the kick. It allows him to get the cover now. It's the critical cover. It nearly was before that left shoulder came up for H.O.D.
Just took that too long to crawl over. And that is, again, all of the energy, all of the air being driven out by H.O.D. Didn't allow him to take full advantage of that kick.
Adams, though, knows he's onto a winner here at the moment. And it's an unlikely situation for him to find himself in, given how the first few minutes of this match went. But Adams climbing to the top here. Adams looking for the double foot stomp, maybe the frog splash. He likes to hit the frog splash to win his matches, does Adams.
After small.
What is he doing here? Adams has gone down.
Oh, I see. Trying to play H.O.D. at his own game. H.O.D. couldn't see what was going on.
Oh wait, he's caught him here. Small package from Adams. Hood got outsmarted. He doesn't like that.
Not at all.
That time he got the power bomb. The power bomb. Almost power bombing him through the canvas. He still kicked out, did Adams. And now, wait, look who's here. Look who's here. 40, the internet champion. One of Hood's disciples in the cause.
Hood calling for the jackhammer. I don't even know if Hood knows that 40's out here, to be honest with you.
40 is, yeah, now he knows. Hood telling him it's fine, I got this.
Edgar Adams wriggling out.
Well, Hood ends up colliding with 40. 40 was more of a hindrance than a help, and Edgar Adams just pinned H.O.D. Well.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner
that's something you don't see every day. Miscommunication in the cause. H. Hood unaware that 40, his disciple, had made an appearance at ringside, clattering into 40. And Edgar Adams, after going to play possum earlier on in the match, trying to play his own mind games against H. Hood, takes full advantage, rolls up H. Hood, and gets the victory tonight.
Hood is arguing the point here. As you say, it's not something you see very often, this miscommunication in the cause, but you've got to say, it's pretty funny when you see it.
I don't know if I found it funny, but I found it effective. I'm going to say I'm impressed with Edgar Adams today. Really showing a level of ring awareness and a capacity to try things out.
Hang on now, 40 is begging for forgiveness here from his leader. Hood clearly frustrated, didn't ask for the assistance of 40 by the sound of it. I'm sure there were some instructions to come out here if Hood was in trouble.
I had a conversation with H. Hood earlier on, trying to figure out what the situation, what he's been thinking about since he's not been here. Yeah.
Walking out here. Hood just not even acknowledging 40. There is trouble in paradise by the sounds of it when it comes to the cause.
I mean, this is kind of what he met me with. I asked him a question and he just sort of gave me a look and walked away.
Hood is clearly, distinctly unimpressed with the actions of his protege, which ultimately, let's face it, cost him the match here.
Absolutely.
Against Edgar Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match, we have got a very special commentator for this match.
Did I approve this?
And your special guest commentator.
Okay.
I see. He's booked himself, has he?
I like it.
You would.
Guest host coming out here.
Perhaps we should get him a little a chair. Shall I go and get one?
Go and get the man a chair.
Well, he'll take my chair.
You want to keep your job?
I do. Got bills to pay.
There you go. Chocolate Thunder, our guest host tonight. What a guest host he's been. He's going to be a guest commentator. He's doing double duty. I think we're going to hear from him again first.
Everybody enjoyed the show? No. I was saving the world. I did say that, and that's why I'm going to be here for the main event. I'm going to make sure that this last man standing match goes the way it should. I acknowledge I've not been here most of the night, but this is where I'm going to be, and I'm going to make sure this goes down right. And I'm going to do a bit of commentating. So, without further ado, are you ready for your main event? I said, are you ready for your main event?
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match is a last man standing match. The rules for this match are as follows. There are no pinfalls, there are no submissions, there are no countouts or disqualifications. The only way to win is to incapacitate your opponent to where they cannot stand to their feet before the count of 10. This match is for the P.E.W World Championship. Introducing first.
Not Alfred Brandon, please. No. Yes, we've got Mike first. Yay! Not bad. Not bad.
Smashing Mike has had an ongoing quarrel, to put it mildly, with Jack Selstrom over recent months. He's a former internet champion, former tag team champion, has the chance to become just the second ever Triple Crown winner in P.E.W history if he can win the big one here this evening. Chocolate Thunder with us, our guest host tonight. Thank you for joining us, good sir. And this is going to be quite the battle for the world title.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, Dave. I mean, pleasure's always to be here, but yeah. I'm here to make sure this goes without a hitch.
How exactly do you think you're going to manage that? What are you looking out for?
I mean, I'm watching the match, mate, so I'm going to make sure there's no shenanigans.
He's been in a weird mood all day today.
I'm just trying to get some insight.
I'm sorry
from
about
our guest host.
So
I think you're much better than the normal guy, by the way. At least you're not in the French Riviera.
Exactly.
Or Skegness, wherever he is.
Seasonal residents.
An increasingly psychotic Jack Selstrom was able to maneuver his way back to the top of P.E.W for a second world title reign at Reckoning at the end of January. Since then, wins over Jason Joshua, Wesley Nserico, and Martin Kirby. It is a who's who of the top talent here in P.E.W, but as we've seen, as I was referring to a minute ago, Smashing Mike has had more than his fair share of problems, not just with Selstrom, but with Joseph Connors, with Riley Nova, with Freya Rose, that entire group who've been trying to impose their will here on P.E.W.
A group built on success at any means necessary.
And it is night and day when it comes to the personalities, the psyches of these two men. Smashing Mike, so beloved by the P.E.W fans, such a likable man, full of energy, full of enthusiasm. Jack Selstrom, just this almost malevolent spirit, this evil force that we see.
I mean, his very nature is ice. Look at him, ice cold stare.
Struggle getting through doors, that's all I'm saying. Getting through doors, and I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, when you're a champion of the caliber of Selstrom, the doors get held open for you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes in this match.
By people like you, Dan.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because I show some respect to our champion. Let's see where it gets you.
All right, well, here we go. Last man standing rules in a second.
Here tonight from the sound of things.
And to my right, he is the challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, Smashing Mike!
It's been a long, long while that I think many P.E.W fans have wanted Smashing Mike to win that world championship. As I said, so popular here, has been throughout almost the entire history of this promotion, but it would be, I think, extra sweet if he could get it done against Jack Selstrom, given all the trauma that Selstrom and his allies have put us through here in P.E.W in the recent past.
What an opportunity for him, though. This is the moment, isn't it, Dave? This is the moment. And these are two stud athletes. I'm looking forward to seeing this, really am.
They had an incredible match back in November.
Yep.
They know each other very well.
But look, there's always that danger with Selstrom and his henchmen, if I can call them that there's going to be some kind of underhanded tactics. I guess for Smashing Mike, you may as well eliminate the doubt, right? There's no disqualifications here. You can do what you like. Mike knows what's coming, and he knows that Selstrom can't try and steal a pinfall.
No.
He can't give, like, unless Mike chose to give up, which obviously I don't think is very likely. There's not going to be a submission here, and there can't be under the rules. So it's last man standing rules only. You've got to knock your opponent down for a count of 10 until one of these men cannot answer the count. We will not know who is walking out of Ettington this evening as the P.E.W World Champion. Here we go. Smashing Mike with the right hands to Jack Selstrom.
Selstrom able to turn it over, but Mike back on the attack.
Already, this one just descending into a brawl. Don't expect this to be any kind of a wrestling match. Mike was already looking for the game over there, that full Nelson slam. Selstrom going to look for his submission hold. Sub-Zero, he's got it in, the Boston Crab, the Sub-Zero as he calls it.
Mike able to wriggle out of it, far too fresh, far too much adrenaline to be held down too long.
Selstrom, a power bomb, but again you can't go for the pin here, there are no pins.
The only way to win is to incapacitate your opponent to the point that they cannot meet the 10 count, and Danny Marks has started that now. And it's with moves like that hard power bomb driving all the air out of Smashing Mike.
He's on his feet though.
Rolling out of the ring.
That's the quickest way back to your feet. You don't have to climb, you just
use the effort.
Exactly right. You need to conserve as much energy as possible here because this could go a long, long time. It's hard to imagine any scenario where either of these men, while they're still conscious, are going to allow themselves to stay down for a count of 10.
This is what I said, they're both two stud athletes, like excellent physicality, excellent fitness. This is going to go the distance.
Chocolate Thunder, you've, I'm sure, been in these kind of matches where there's no disqualification like this, and there is that extra element of danger, obviously, where there are no rules to be broken. You can do whatever you want to your opponent. How do you prepare when you're in that kind of scenario, when you're entering that kind of battlefield?
You can't really compare because it's unpredictable. I mean, anything can happen in these kind of matches. You've just got to steel yourself and just sort of get that iron will to just keep going and just push through the pain and just keep on getting up when you get put down.
Smashing Mike has come here tonight for a fight. He's going to get one.
Send Elsa's granddad home.
A bit more respect, please, on this man.
I didn't
champion. I know you didn't, but I'm saying these people here.
That was the other way
around. You are
around.
responsible for, by the way, as the host of the evening.
Responsible?
What's your problem?
I'm looking for some respect on this champion who deserves.
How about showing a bit of respect for our guest commentator, our guest host tonight?
I mean, the crowd are free to bring whatever signs they want.
Exactly. They pay their money.
It's part of the experience, right? Them allowing them to express their opinions about the world champion. Not everyone's going to like the world champion, and that's fine.
By the way, we don't have to give you a microphone, Dan, to express your opinion.
I'm really grateful to be here. Yeah. And thank you for the opportunity. I think the people at home would have something to say.
Well, Chocolate Thunder's your boss tonight, so maybe just bear that in mind.
Thank you, Dave.
Here comes a shot from Selstrom. Chester smashing Mike. Remember, no countouts here either. Danny Marks has had a busy night here on his return to P.E.W, but his job here is really pretty simple. Just stay out the way, and if one of these guys goes down, start counting to 10.
Exactly that.
Queensbury rules, I believe these are called, Dave.
Selstrom putting the boot in here. Ooh, smashing Mike. And
this ain't going to be pretty. This is not going to be pretty at all. I think, like you said, there's going to be very little wrestling. It's just going to be an out-for-out brawl.
I know that one part of this alliance that Selstrom has formed, Joseph Connors, is not here tonight. Riley Nova and Freya Rose are here, but they've been put under restrictions by our guest host here this evening. So Selstrom going after this match on his own. And Selstrom's so dangerous, so just completely lacking in any basic level of human compassion that the last man standing match really does suit him.
As you say, Dave, it's been on what would we say, a downward trajectory in the mentality of, I don't know, a spiral becoming more psychotic. only means bad news for Smashing Mike.
Not at the moment, he's coming back at him.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a man who you think is receiving some bad news, he doesn't look to be too sad about it. He's on top here at the moment. It's the Smashing one. Here he comes. Smashing Mike with a suplex. Selstrom, the back of his head just bouncing there, hitting the canvas pretty hard.
Tapes come off. Now they mean business.
Short arm clothesline, nearly took Selstrom's head off with that one. Mike's not even going to let the referee start the count here. He's going to pick up Mike, or pick up Selstrom, I should say. Another one of those short arm clotheslines.
Mike is in incredible shape tonight. You can tell he's been training for this match. Aware of the stakes of the stipulation, of what it means, what kind of different approach you have to bring.
He knows what it is to be a victim to these guys as well, the Smashing Mike, and he absolutely, that is not an experience that he wants to repeat. There are only two ways that tonight can go for him. Either he leaves as a world champion, or he leaves as, once again, someone who has fallen to Jack Selstrom, and the latter of those two options is simply not palatable if you're Smashing Mike. Referee's up to a count of 5 here on Jack Selstrom. 6 now, just 4 seconds away from Selstrom losing the world title. Selstrom's rolling under the bottom rope, and he's going to do what Smashing Mike did earlier.
His feet.
The quickest way back to his feet was to roll to the outside. Mike needs to stay on him here. Shot from Smashing Mike.
There are going to be some welts on those bodies tonight, I'll tell you that much.
Referee just watching on from inside the ring as Smashing Mike takes Jack Selstrom on a tour of ringside.
You can feel some of these blows.
We're getting some action tonight, I'll say that much.
See this? Been asked this for a long time.
Mike's been a moment to do a bit of showboating for the camera. I'm not sure. I think you want to stay on the man here.
The Thunder's getting to his feet, trying to keep an eye on what's going on.
Again, you can understand, given the history of Selstrom and his group, why our guest host here would want an up-close and personal view of the action in this world title match.
Spectre.
Selstrom with a kick to the chest there. And he's still up.
There's a chain, Dave.
It's legal.
It's all legal. What is that? Is that there's a chain there? There's also the chain. He's got that chain wrapped around his. He's got it in his hand at least, ready to use it as a weapon. That's if Smashing Mike can even answer the count. We're up to a count of 5. And Smashing Mike back to his feet. And there's the chain in use, wrapped around the fist there of the P.E.W World Champion.
This is a danger of no DQ. You can use anything to your advantage.
Anything, anywhere.
I mean, it's a career shortener, isn't it, for either of these two? To be in a last man standing match where the rules are thrown out of the window. It is the kind of thing that could be incredibly dangerous. This could get out of hand, and it already is very close to doing so.
Some people in the crowd calling for Chocolate Thunder to do something, but there's nothing really that can be done, is there? This is very much within the scope of what this match is. Both men knew what they were signing up for, and it's all about the P.E.W Championship.
You hear that? The thud on that kick from Jack Selstrom. There's some very concerned looking faces on the fans of Smashing Mike's all around the ring here in Ettington as Jack Selstrom looks like he is well on his way to another retention of that World Championship.
Complete control.
He's kicked it up again now, guys.
Yeah, he's cold as ice, is Selstrom. And the way he is systematically taking apart Smashing Mike. Fourth behind that body slam.
Mike isn't one to give up easily. You can see him sort of trying to figure out how to find, I don't know, anything to grasp onto, any bit of adrenaline, but it looks like it's all he can do to even sit up, let alone get back to his feet, but try he will. Smashing Mike does not know how to quit. He will have to be forced down.
The uppercut from Selstrom trying to do exactly that. Every fibre, I'm sure, in Smashing Mike's body is telling him to stay down in this continuous assault. But there is something in Smashing Mike that refuses to stay down. Selstrom, listen to this.
Literally beating him to his feet and then beating him back down again. It's going to take a lot to put Mike down now, I'll tell you, say that much.
I called him psychotic earlier, Jack Selstrom. You hear him just screaming into the wind there. Looks like he's just trying to uncork the head of Smashing Mike off his body here. It's a wine bottle. Look at him just squeezing at the head. Smashing Mike in danger of passing out. Obviously, referee's count's not going to start while Selstrom is still attached to him. But right, Selstrom now thinks he's knocked out Mike, thinks he's choked him out here. Wants the referee to count to 10. Smashing Mike is not moving. Referee's up to 4.
Mike, at this point, if he's going to meet the count, needs to dig down deep and find every ounce of grit, trying to use the ropes to pull him back to a vertical base.
He's up at the count of 8. Just about made it up.
But look at that, Selstrom right back on the attack. Okay, fine, you want to get back to your feet? Well, here's what's waiting for you. So maybe it will be better for you to stay down.
Again, there will be so much of the human instinct inside Smashing Mike, inside any human being in this situation to want to comply to that, to want to stay down. But Smashing Mike, no ordinary human being. Getting increasingly uncomfortable to watch this though, as Selstrom is just on top of this one, just dominating it with really no response here from Smashing Mike, other than to get back to his feet time and again. Wait a second though. Just as I say that, here comes a response.
Finding a second wind. They're still feeling the effects, not able to take full advantage.
What a shot that is though from Selstrom, runs to that temple. Mike, straight back down. Oh, he comes again. Where does he get this from? Smashing Mike, a third wind now. Shoulder thrusts from Smashing Mike. The reserves of energy for Smashing Mike, absolutely boundless. Gonna send Selstrom across the ring, the reversal of the Irish whip. And goodness me, you saw how hard Smashing Mike went into the turnbuckle there. I think the ring moved to the side a couple of inches. Such was the ferocity of that impact in the corner.
I think his spine did as well.
Smashing Mike by name. Smashed Mike, more like it by the looks of it.
That was really clever.
Thank you very much.
Just when we're worried about a man's well-being, you decide to put one of your hilarious jokes. Eh?
Not a joke. I'm trying to point out this man, this poor man, needs to know when to stay down. It's not happening right now. You know, he's making a choice every time he gets back to his feet to walk into this.
Powerbomb.
And if he just stayed down for this 10 count, he could fight another day. There'll be another opportunity.
When?
At some point.
The challengers are lining up. You saw like someone like Lance Rivera who won earlier tonight. You saw people like H-Hood, Edgar Adams who got the win over Hood earlier. All of these guys, any of them could want a shot at that title. When is another opportunity like this going to come around?
So is that worth making it so that, okay, you win the championship, but you can't defend it?
Well, we're 2 seconds away from Smashing Mike going back to the back of the queue. Referee up to 9 now. Get up, Mike. Get up, Mike. And he does get up, just. The finest of margins. Oh, God, what a snap suplex from Selstrom.
Now Selstrom rolls to the outside. fishing by the looks of things for some... Okay.
That's a steel chair. And again, it's all legal here. Last man standing rules. Selstrom, despite the fact the referee is up to a count of 6 on Smashing Mike, realizes that Mike's going to beat the count again. He's going to come at him with the chair. Shot right into the ribs, into the abdomen. Going to hit him across the back. Another sickening sound of the impact, this time from the steel chair. Selstrom holding the chair aloft as if in victory. Is that premature? Or is it a premonition of what's about to come to pass here? He's up to a count of 5. Well, we've seen Mike get up time and time again, but he's barely moving.
He's got
2 seconds to get there.
But look at that, Selstrom being the one to bring him back to his feet. Okay, you want to get up? Well, here, this is what happens. Another one of those hard power bombs.
Oh, wait, Mike was able to wriggle free. Shoved Selstrom off to the ropes. Caught him. Dropped him on his spine.
Can he begin to fight back, to claw back some of that momentum, even just to give himself a moment to breathe?
Man, what a shot. Into the jaw of the world champion. And another one from Smashing Mike. Got the feel of a man fighting for his life here. Selstrom trying to cut him off. There's an uppercut from the champion. Mike though, still got something left in his locker here. Selstrom turning to the ropes. And then there's a pounce. What a pounce from Smashing Mike.
And now Selstrom's the one off his feet.
Find his second wind.
And he's also found the steel chair that Selstrom brought into the ring. This crowd they seem to want a chair to be used.
Well, you know what they say about karma. Might be coming back to bite Jack Selstrom. Yes, it is. You brought the chair in, you pay the consequences. Smashing Mike, reveling in his opportunity to get some retribution here over Jack Selstrom. And just like he took a shot across the back, now Selstrom takes one.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
But the ultimate retribution would be to take away Jack Selstrom's P.E.W World title.
And now Mike is the one prowling, waiting to see whether Selstrom can meet this count. And we're halfway there, halfway to a new world champion.
Up to 7. This is as bad as Selstrom has looked here, I think. He's barely able to get to his feet. Now maybe Mike's going to hit a power bomb. Selstrom dropping to his knees. I don't know if that was by design or just through exhaustion. Now Selstrom is resisting. There's a back body drop from the champion. That one seemed to really do some damage as well to Smashing Mike, holding his lower back off of that landing. Uppercut from Selstrom. Now this one right on the edge here, you feel. Neither man can have much left here.
It really could go either way. A bulldog onto the steel chair.
That could be a game changer. That could be a game changer.
And a ring the bell of the champion.
Is this it for Smashing Mike? The Triple Crown beckons.
Chocolate Thunder on his feet. Ready.
Well, he might be about to oversee a changing in the World Championship.
Exactly what I was thinking, Dave.
8 now on Selstrom. Selstrom's got the ropes. Can he pull himself up in the next second? He just referee deems up by
2 feet flat on the mat, Dave. He was back to his feet. But this is what I like to see, Smashing Mike right on the attack.
It's the right decision. Danny Marks calling it correctly. Looking for the Sub-Zero here, though, is Selstrom. Saw him lock this in very, very briefly right at the start of the match, if you remember. Got a turn, Smashing Mike onto his front. Remember, though, there's no submission here.
No submission, but Smashing Mike's back has taken a beating in the moment since we saw this submission move attempted right at the start of the match.
Like the last two, these two faced each other. Smashing Mike passed out from this move, so...
That's a great point, and if he does it again here, if he doesn't regain consciousness and get to his feet before the count of 10 rather,
it'll be over. Wrenching.
Look at the angle. Look at the angle of the back. Well, the count can't start till Selstrom relinquishes the hold. How long is he going to hold it in for?
Both men down, and the count begins.
Well, history repeating itself here. I think Smashing Mike has passed out. Mike absolutely motionless.
Selstrom already bailing to the outside.
What's
I
he
think
doing
he
here?
thinks it's all academic. He's going to grab his belt and head out. There you go.
Yeah, he's got it.
Smashing Mike has not moved.
This is over. This is over in 3 seconds from now. Selstrom is celebrating already. Is he right to? Mike is moving now. Mike rolls to the outside to break the count.
Back to his feet just long enough for the count to break, but look at him on the outside.
It's not over, champ. It's not over.
That is genius from Smashing Mike. Just stirring, but just aware enough to know that by rolling out, he's saved his championship prospects.
How much has he got left, though? This is the question.
Hey, Dan, you were telling him to stay down a minute ago.
That's out of a fear for his own health, but if he's going to commit...
Oh, it's because you're such a humanitarian, right? Mike rolled into the ring here. One thing that Jack Selstrom could never be described as is a humanitarian. He's quite the opposite, in fact, especially when his world championship is under threat. It has been here at the hands of Smashing Mike. That threat might be coming to an end, though. A sidewalk slam from the champion. Referee will start the count again.
Selstrom looking at the championship, remembering that's what this is all for. That is who he is.
Well, he celebrated prematurely last time. I doubt he'll make that mistake again. He's staring down at his fallen opponent, who is on a count of 7. Look at him talking trash, demanding that Smashing Mike stay down. We're up to 9. And Selstrom's not gonna wait here. I think Mike was going to beat the count anyway. Uppercut from Selstrom. Just set up one of those chairs in the middle of the ring. I think he was going to try and drop Mike onto the chair.
Absolutely right.
The Superman punch from Smashing Mike. And both men living precariously here. The shot that was from Mike. Mike, the game over from Smashing Mike. Is that game over for the world title reign of Jack Selstrom?
They're both down.
And the count begins.
Well, how much did that take out of Smashing Mike? How much did that take out of Smashing Mike?
Selstrom, look, I mean, to answer your question, Selstrom is the first one to stir, able to roll himself on his front, maybe push himself to his feet.
And both men absolutely beaten and battered in this last man standing match for the world title. We're up to 7 here. Now, this could be a double countdown. We're up to 8. Smashing Mike using that chair to get to his feet. Selstrom kicked the chair away. Selstrom wasn't going to make it up, but he stopped Mike from getting there.
Absolute genius.
I think that is a double countdown.
None of the man will make it to their feet before Danny marks count of 10, which means this match has been declared a draw. Therefore, still your P.E.W World Champion.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Dave, you might not like it, but that is well within the rules. Chocolate Thunder, there's not a lot you can do.
Unfortunately, he's right.
Jack Selstrom
There must
showing
be something.
why he has that championship mentality, that championship caliber. Smashing Mike not able to get back to his feet because Jack Selstrom kicked the chair out from under him and forced him back to the ground, saving his championship reign. Absolute genius.
Absolute heartbreak, I think is the word you're looking for.
That as well, but that's all part of the game, Dave.
Smashing Mike, if it wasn't for Selstrom taking defensive measures to cling on to that world title, Smashing Mike right now would be the champion. And but look, there is nothing left of either of these two.
A hard-fought battle between the pair of them. And you would have said any one of them would have deserved to win. But in the end, it was the mentality, it was the championship instincts of the veteran Selstrom.
Look at you complimenting Selstrom. Why don't you say something nice about Smashing Mike? Smashing Mike was the one who nearly won.
He did, and he had a fantastic match. He played a blinder, but he's not leaving as the champion. In fact, he's being helped out. He gave all he had, and on this night, it wasn't enough. Maybe now that he's at the back of the queue, he can work his way back, and one day, I have every faith that is a world championship caliber athlete. He's just not tonight.
He can't be at the back of the queue.
Wait a second.
Oscar Prospero, he's got that golden ticket. This is the perfect moment to cash in the golden ticket.
After a last man standing match, but wait a second.
Riley Nova. Novo's. Nova preventing what I think was about to be a cash-in of the golden ticket.
You're exactly right.
Nova was scheduled to be Prospero's opponent here tonight.
Scared of me, because you know you can't out-wrestle either of us. We are champions. We are TV superstars. You're just like that. You're their friends, as you like to put it. You're not a wrestler, and you prove it here. Is this the man you want to be? Is this the wrestler you want to be? Is this the champion that you would like to be?
It's a great question.
So you listen here. You have something there that I want. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to hand this over to me.
What?
So how about this, Oscar? You prove to these people, you prove to me, and you prove to yourself what kind of a man you want to be. You put that ticket on the line against me right now.
What on earth? Come on. Prospero came out here to cash the ticket in on Selstrom, not to put it on the line against Riley Nova.
He's about to take a cheap way to the championship, Oscar Prospero. I mean, that is well within his right as the golden ticket holder.
He's helping Selstrom up.
He apologised.
Riley Nova appealed to the sense of fairness that Prospero might have. And it worked, I think. Meanwhile, Nova with the elbow to the back of the head. Don't tell me this match is happening.
For the golden ticket.
Well, again, it was originally scheduled it was going to be these two tonight, but certainly not with this stipulation.
Prospero has laid his golden ticket in the center of the ring, so I mean, you've got to assume, and that Chocolate Thunder is the one who can, I suppose, sanction this, maybe. Certainly the one who can do something about it. He's been saying he wants this to be a fair evening of competition. Danny Marks is on the way out.
Ref away. He's been kind of commandeered here by Riley Nova. Not really coming out of his own volition. And Prospero.
This is your main event. And Oscar Prospero has put his golden ticket on the line.
the way, how hypocritical of Riley Nova, who himself once cashed in the golden ticket in very similar circumstances, claiming it would be immoral in some way for Prospero to take advantage of the bad condition of Jack Selstrom.
Look, I mean, nobody knows the golden ticket better than Riley Nova. Chocolate Thunder's rejoining us here
What's
at
going
the commentary
on?
desk.
I wish I knew, Dave. I wish I knew. I did say to Oscar, you don't have to do this, but he wants to defend the golden ticket, and if that's what he wants, then I've got to allow it.
Nova having goaded Oscar Prospero, who again came out here to cash it in on the champion. He should be the world champion right now, by all accounts.
We saw earlier on as well, Prospero is very easily goaded into putting his accolades on the line. He's booked himself a tag team championship match against Fabulous Sauce.
Well, again, let me, given his past history of doing exactly this, let me ask you this: if Riley Nova were to beat Oscar Prospero, if he was to become the golden ticket holder, do you think there would be any hesitation in Riley Nova in cashing in the same circumstances that he just reprimanded Prospero for trying to?
Not for a second.
Exactly.
And I see where you're coming from, Dave, but I've got to say, in this instance, I think it says more about Oscar Prospero, whether or not he was ready really to cash in. He came out with all the fire, all the vim and vigor, and all it took was a quick chat with Riley Nova to make him doubt himself and even apologize to Jack Selstrom. Oscar, you have everything within you to be a world champion, but not if you're going to have an attitude like that.
You sound like you want him to apologise for being a man of honour, a man of integrity.
Look, if you've got that golden ticket, there's a reason it is called that. It's your ticket to the gold. And he had it. He had it in the palm of his hand.
Well,
but he let it go. And now he might lose it entirely.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because Riley Nova, having again psychologically just manipulated Prospero here into putting that on the line. An arm drag. Once again, if you're just joining us, unfortunately, by many fans' view, I'm sure, Jack Selstrom remaining the P.E.W World Champion after what was a double count out in the last man standing match against Smashing Mike. Prospero coming out here with intentions of cashing in that golden ticket on a clearly damaged world champion in Selstrom after that match, but Riley Nova, the protege of Jack Selstrom, really, I think, gets the credit here for saving the title for Selstrom tonight.
It's like he's working that shoulder, Riley Nova.
And Nova's no idiot. He knew what he was doing coming out here. He knows what he's doing now, focusing on a body part.
He has been consumed with thoughts of winning that championship ever since he lost it.
We saw Prospero earlier tonight interrupting the what was it, Flawless Source Live.
Flawless Source Live, the hottest new show in town.
An unsuccessful pilot, I think we'll call that.
Well, I mean, they got a championship match out of it. I call that quite successful.
Yeah. Prospero, again, his valour, his sense of honour, his determination to be a fighting champion, maybe getting him in trouble there, because he granted Flawless Source a rematch for those tag team titles somewhere down the road when Adam Bolt's back with us. And it's that same generosity of spirit here that has possibly cost Prospero, certainly cost him his cashing of the golden ticket, and may cost him his possession of that golden ticket.
I hope he knows what he's doing. I tried to tell him. The lad wanted to defend it, and so be it.
Tried to catch him, got him. He's looking for the DDT, but he quickly improvised there. Very smart, going for the inside cradle. Riley Nova, though, catching with a hip toss. Now hooking that right leg for a 2 count. Prospero, who was under no obligation to put that golden ticket on the line here, was within less than a second there of losing it. Nova, the very definition of toxic masculinity. He revels in that fact. Nova, we mentioned earlier, the only person in P.E.W history to have done that triple crown. He's a former world champion, former internet champion, former tag team champion. A kick out on 2 from Prospero.
Every single one of the belts that he's held is in higher esteem because he has held them.
Again, thank you for giving us a preview of your next issue of the Riley Nova Fan Club newsletter.
It's in high circulation.
Isn't it?
Well, is beloved.
Sounds beloved, doesn't he? Here comes Prospero, who actually is. Dropping the face of Nova on the knee. And Prospero, despite that golden ticket being in jeopardy here, might be about to take out Nova. He's got him in that fireman's carry position. Nova able to escape. And then Nova, big body slam, dropped him on his arm. Now Nova will roll him over, go for the cover, and it's a kick out on 2 from Prospero. Nova maybe was going for that sit-out Death Valley driver. He calls it the Ryle driver. Couldn't get him on those shoulders.
Prospero must be thinking back just a few minutes ago, really. He could have become the world champion, and now he's looking up at the lights here in the Ettington Community Centre, looking up at the form of Riley Nova, who is in complete control, wondering if he will ever get an opportunity again, whether he'll still even have the ticket to cash in.
Remember earlier tonight, before we knew that there was going to be this stipulation on this match, Chocolate Thunder banned Freya Rose from ringside during Riley Nova's match tonight. That's why Nova's out here on his own. Selstrom, of course, recovering from what was a near miss, so to speak. If indeed Prospero had been able to cash in, a flurry of elbows there, resulting in a 2 count for Nova. And I guess in Prospero's defense in terms of not cashing it in, the moment Riley Nova ran out here and got himself in between Prospero and Selstrom, you've got to think from Prospero's point of view, even if he did cash in, Nova would have found a way to prevent him winning. So you understand him not going ahead with the cash in maybe, but to be goaded into putting his own golden ticket on the line.
What was it he was saying earlier on about Adam Bolt teaching him to believe in yourself and to reach for the stars and all the rest of it? I mean, that's all well and good until you walk into a closed door like this. This was entirely avoidable for Prospero.
Again, his sense of honour, sense of competition.
Oh,
yeah, I know it's not a sense that you share.
The sense I share is championships. That's what I'm after, any means necessary.
And that is a sentiment that is shared by Riley Nova, whose shoulders briefly went down there. Him just trying to smash Prospero's head into the canvas time and time again. Riley Nova, who's been going from strength to strength. He seems a young man destined for the top. Already been at the top in P.E.W as a world champion, but get the impression that's just the beginning for Riley Nova, although, as we've been saying for months, he could be a little more careful in the company that he keeps. Been influenced undoubtedly by Jack Selstrom, by Joseph Connors. At least with Connors not here, and with Freya Rose banned from ringside, he's going to have to take this golden ticket from Prospero on his own.
Prospero now trying to find a bit of steam of his own.
The hip toss. The Merchant of Menace starting to build momentum. The body slam. Prospero down to a knee though, he's exhausted. Prospero drops the elbow.
It's a tempest of elbow drops onto Riley Nova.
Dropping the elbow again and again and again. How many elbows was that from Prospero?
Might be enough to keep him down.
In the end, it was much ado about nothing. Prospero, though, firing up here.
It's hard getting behind him now. I think he's feeling it.
Might be looking for poor Yorick. Can't get him. He can't get him. Trying to hook him. Almost a full Nelson. He's got him in here. Nova leaping over the top and then dropping the throat of Prospero. Look how happy he is of himself.
Taking a second to catch his breath. He's been on the receiving end for a little while, but now this is Riley Nova's opportunity to take control right back.
He's his own biggest fan, isn't he? If you weren't the chairman of the Riley Nova fan club, I'm sure he'd happily fill the position.
What fan club?
Excuse me, we have several members.
Two, you and Riley Nova. Got him up here. He tried to equilibrium a little bit off.
Oh, but the strength, the inner determination, but they have nothing in comparison to the elbows, I thought, by Riley Nova, but there!
He caught him. Here comes the cover of that rolling Tefali driver. And Prospero was less than a quarter of a second away there from dodging a bullet and keeping hold of his golden ticket.
Think about the journey Oscar Prospero has been on over the past year or so. Going from someone resented by the crowd to very organically finding himself a legion of supporters, internet champion, tag team champion, and now golden ticket holder. But it could all come crashing down within 3 seconds if he can't put Riley Nova away.
Here comes the poor Yorick, Oh, Nova didn't let it happen. Nova knows Prospero very well. Knew what he was going for. There! The overhead neck breaker. Going for the cover. Nova to win the golden ticket, and he was very, very, very close.
And just now you're starting to see the frustration show on the face of Riley Nova. He's been composed, somewhat arrogant you might say, but for the first time the mask is starting to slip.
Riley Nova, his frustrations. Again, like we've seen with several people tonight, that pronounced chip on the shoulder that we have where it comes to Riley Nova. Nova.
Signaling.
Super kick there. Nova gets the super kick. Falls on top. Prospero! And listen to that scream of frustration from Nova.
Super kicks like that have put away the very best in this business, but not enough tonight to take the golden ticket home for Riley Nova.
By the way, if Riley Nova were to win the golden ticket, does that undermine trust between him and Selstrom? There's always the possibility Nova could cash in on Selstrom.
Hey, you're absolutely right. That is very much within the realms of possibility, but it might just solidify this group's grasp on the women's title, the world title, the golden ticket. It puts all the power in their corner. So it's not just a championship on the line.
Wait, Nova, hang on. Nova's looking for the Ryle driver. The Ryle driver from... Oh, he got him. A GTS in the end. Caught him with the knee. It's a kick out anyway. I thought Prospero had been knocked flat out cold.
I think everyone in the building did, Dave. Chocolate Thunder on his feet one more time.
And Nova keeping Prospero guessing. Knocking him out seemingly with the knee. But apparently not, because Prospero somehow, maybe it was just instinct, maybe some part of his brain heard the referee's count and his body just reacted before the count of 3. And it's tense in here. It is tense in here with that golden ticket on the line.
You can feel it.
Listen, Oscar, hang on. This isn't worth your life. It's not worth your body. These people, they give up eventually, Oscar. Pull them back in front. Pull them back in front.
And Nova demanding that the referee call the match in his favour.
I mean, Danny Marks looks like he might be thinking about it. Oscar Prospero has not been able to get back to his feet, not maybe able to necessarily answer Danny Marks' questions.
That's the last thing Marks wants to do. It's the last thing he wants to do. He's not going to try and take away that golden ticket from Prospero. Prospero won an entire Rumble match to do that. Prospero is stopping Marks from doing it.
Prospero letting Riley Nova know it's not over just yet.
Nova shoving Prospero down. Nova trying to bully the official. Trying to bully his way into becoming a golden ticket holder. Oh, there's a roll up! The roll up! Roll up! Roll up! Prospero got him! Prospero got him! Prospero still has the golden ticket!
Riley Nova can't believe it!
And Nova is beside himself. The plan has backfired for Riley Nova. Nova's not walking out of here with the golden ticket.
And Prospero might not be walking away with a championship, but he's still holding on to the prospect.
Yeah, hang on, the night might not be over.
No, I don't think that it is.
Oh, poor Yorick! Poor Yorick from Oscar Prospero! Nova got what he deserved!
Taken everything out of Prospero, but he's standing tonight with that ticket in his hand.
Prospero nearly exploited, goaded into giving up the ticket. He was equally close to cashing in tonight. But Prospero able to take advantage of the hubris, of the arrogance of Riley Nova, who was trying to bully the referee. One roll up later, Prospero holds on to the ticket, and after poor Yorick, Riley Nova ends the night unconscious. Our guest host, Chocolate Thunder, congratulating Oscar Prospero on his successful efforts at holding on to that golden ticket here. Prospero's going to shake hands with everyone in the building. The Merchant of Menace did it. The no holds barred stands tall. Oscar Prospero defeats Riley Nova in our main event here in Ettington on a night that was full of bangers.